Welcome to this week's JVA Coach to Coach Video of the Week, brought to you by NetLink Sports, the preferred court provider of the JVA.
Hi everybody, Coach Jeff Reeser here with Academy Volleyball Cleveland. Happy that you guys could join us here, take a look inside and see what we do in our gym. 13 through 18 red, those are our top teams in those age groups. We train them together on Saturday mornings.
Phase of warm-up with ball control is a drill that we call dig set. We have a few different variations of this. For this one, as you can see, there's two teams on one court. So in order to maximize the time, the space, we only have a couple of balls. We shouldn't need to shag because the hitters are approaching, catching, taking their ball and going to the other side. Depending on what you have with your team, we can have pins who dig and pass, jump in this left back line, which you'll see with some of our groups that are missing DSs or having hitters just dig today. So the first round is just them hitting cross court at the left back, and the setter is releasing to set the ball outside.
Hey, somebody even out your lines. You got three people.
Because there's a team on the other side of the net, they're just approaching and catching. And what they're not doing a good job of right now that they're supposed to do is they're supposed to start at the net as the front row blocker and peel off for off blocker.
Come on, Kayla, we need a
So in theory, you could do this where you could dig at your hitter as well, and sometimes we will do that.
There you go, Belle.
So now the progression continues, and they're flipping to the other side. So they're hitting down the line at the digger. The setter will release and set, and they're working on approaching from the right side now. And you'll see the same progression over here. The setter will then dig the next round, and the left back will add a system set. You can add a middle back to this, and sometimes, depending on our body count, we will, or the objective, and you can hit at two different players if you want. During the year, the kids know where to go. The biggest aspect of what you're seeing now is we have kids do multiple things. We want our pins, obviously, to pass and to add a system hit. So that's happening on two different courts right now. So they'll rotate and do both. We want them to add a system set. On court one here, we're a little limited on bodies, it looks like. So we have some setters who are actually also hitting. And what's happening on court one is that the hitters are all one group. The rotation typically goes from entering to hitting, and then they shag, they go back to enter. And you have setters and DSs in this add a system setting spots. And the person who's entering the ball will yell go, and that's when the hitter should release off the net from their blocking position to transition. The ball gets tossed over the net, and on one contact is being set.
Over here we've got our middles working on some serve receive footwork coming out. As you can see, we just kind of have the court divided in half, which we try to make as realistic as we can. We put a lot of pressure on our DSs and our passers to get the ball in a good location. As you can see, there was a little bit sloppy, so they have a little word with each other. And something that we think is really important in our gym, really important, these players rep all of these balls in. It's gonna be ugly quite often, to be honest with you. But the benefit that we see, it far outweighs the ugliness. Down there. Attackers, let's go, let's go.
So now they're with their teams, so they're hitting off of their setter, setting off of their own passer, and they're all doing the same drill, which is called split 150 for us, because they're split. So these older kids are entering a down ball. We'll have them sometimes do top spin, sometimes we'll have them make it a float.
Okay, pass this ball in front of you.
So you want the hitters to audible the set, especially based on the pass. So we have middles who are having to audible something a little bit slower when the pass is out of system, but essentially you can have your middles work on quick sets here, or when they're behind, work on going off one foot. Depending on the personnel that you have, you can have hitters jump in and do this passing, so that they're doing it all, or you can just keep your DSs there.
And every time, hey, Abby, stay here and block. When she hits the ball, you transition every single time that this cover ball gets dropped in. Come on, Belle.
So this is a progression of our dig set that you saw at the beginning where they approach and catch. And again, you can add diggers to this. You have 3 across the front row and 1 digger right now, but you can add a middle back if you'd like. So instead of the one and only ball being caught by the hitter, they'll make a full swing, and then there's additional balls entered from the middle of the other side of the net. We call it dig set, cover, cover. Now there's a few things about this that are pretty important for us, whether you're seeing them or not. I'm not seeing a ton of excellence in what our normal objectives are. However, we want to put a ton of emphasis on our kids covering our hitters. So the person who digs, and as you see, we have a middle back hitting a pipe in there. You can hit, like I said, you can hit the ball at her as well. They both should be covering, and then that middle back would transition. So you can enter a ball to the DS or the middle back for an additional rep or two. This is actually how we warm up for matches at tournaments, because it just gets a ton of reps in a pretty fast way.
Thank you for watching the JVA Coach to Coach video of the week.